Hey, what's up, everyone? Dr. Jordan here, and I know it's been a little while since I've reached out, and kind of like everybody, the summer catches up, and time just kind of flies. But I've been seeing a lot of people recently that have had an increase in their symptoms, an increase in needing to come in, and I often get asked, well, why is this keep happening? I'm not doing anything different. And it's kind of like a repetitive stress injury because it all comes down to stress. If you take, I have a pen here. Let's say that I took this pen and I held it out like this. Well, for the first 8-10 minutes, who knows? Maybe I'm not that strong. Maybe it's only a minute or two. It's not that big of a deal. But if I had to hold it like this for, a day, 2 days, somebody had a gun to my head or something was going to happen to my family and I had to hold it up, then eventually my shoulder is going to start straining, my arm's going to start straining, and that is going to lead to tissue breakdown and damage, and that is going to take a long time to heal. Even if I had to only hold it for a day, it only happened for a day, it'll take 6, 8, 12 weeks for that to heal and strengthen back up. And the same thing goes with our bodies. We have stress on a daily basis, whether it's the way we sit, our driving posture, dealing with people at work, families, mental stress. There's all sorts of things that are going on. And that gets into the spine and affects these joints and these nerves that are coming out. When that happens, inflammation builds up around because our body tries to splint and tries to keep it from getting hurt even more. When you come in, I remove that restriction, I put the adjustment in, the bone moves, it clears up the interference. But if we are constantly doing the same thing, that repetitive stress, it keeps happening even if we're not realizing that it's happening. And it's kind of like if we broke an arm and we put our arm in a cast and we held it in one spot. That happens whenever we have that stress in our spine and our system. And initially, we don't realize that there's anything going on, but whenever we take that cast off, it's weak, it's smaller, it's not as strong, it feels weird when you go to move it. The same thing happens here, which is why when you come into the office, it takes time and repetition for us to help strengthen the system, strengthen your spine, and help you get back to the place of health and healing. Initially, and even, if should something happen, something change, some additional stress, that might be 2-3 times a week for 8 to 12 weeks, and that's just because that's how long it takes for the healing process. After that, we go to a retainer system where, if you've ever had braces put on your teeth, you had that for a period of time, same kind of thing with the body. It's not just an overnight thing. You put the braces on, the next day you go back and get a new one, get them off. But after you get the braces off, then you get a retainer, or else that starts going back and it starts to just their teeth go back into the way that they were. And so we want to put you on a retainer to make sure that your body and your system, your body and your system continues to function properly and continues to adapt to its stress and be able to handle that stress on a better daily basis. Now, again, that stress goes through our spine for many different reasons, many different ways, but is a constant repetitive thing. So you might feel it overnight because the symptoms are the last thing to show up. But also after you start getting adjusted, the symptoms are the first thing to go away. But just because the symptoms have gone away, you break your arm, you put it in a cast, it doesn't feel broken anymore. But is it still broken? Yes. So we want to make sure that you are getting the best care possible and you are actually getting back to health, which is why we recommend the kind of care plan that we do. Because you can go to other places that have a one and done adjustment and you feel better, but that injury is still there and it has not healed, which then actually causes you to be at a greater possibility and potential of having a bigger injury because the body's splinted, it got motion back. Well, that splinting is no longer there, and so you have an unstable joint and system that isn't fully healed, and then you can go out and hurt yourself even more. So again, this happens on a daily basis. We all have stress. Whenever our body's not able to adapt to that stress, it goes into our spine. Whenever that goes into our spine, causes splinting, causes injury. We remove that stress, allow your body to heal much better than anything that we can do. You break your arm, you put it in a cast. The cast doesn't heal it, but your body's able to heal. So we make sure that you're able to heal, time and repetition, and then you're able to live your best life. Most people come for one thing and then they realize that it's starting to affect all these other areas of our bodies and our mind and our life. And we talk about that later on. But first, we want to make sure that you get the care that you need. So, Dr. Jordan Bowen here. Have a great day.